Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, wait, when did my skin change? Maybe the moisturizer you've used forever suddenly doesn't feel moisturizing enough. Maybe makeup doesn't sit on your skin the way that it used to. Maybe you're noticing dryness in places that weren't dry before. Maybe you're seeing little lines around your eyes that definitely weren't there a few years ago. Or maybe you're doing basically the same thing you've always done, but your skin just isn't responding the way that it used to. And I think that's a really important conversation women need to hear about this specifically because maybe your skincare didn't suddenly stop working. Maybe your skin has changed. And if you're somewhere in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or beyond, there are very real biological reasons that can happen. So today, we're going to talk about what actually happens to our skin as we're getting older. What hormones, collagen, hydration, nutrition, stress, sleep, and sun exposure have to do with it, and how we can start caring for the skin that we have now instead of continually trying to care for the skin we had at 25. And I'm also going to show you how I approached this with JAFRA because I've been around these products since I was a little girl. My mom, Patricia Bergstrom, has been with JAFRA for 50 years. You heard me right, 50, 5 decades. I've been using it and surrounded by it. I say for 30 because that's how much I can remember. I'll be 40 in April, so almost there. But I've actually had the unusual experience of watching these products move through generations of women in my own family because my sister, who's 10 years older than me, a whole decade between the two of us, she uses them too. But there's something else I really want to talk about today because this isn't ultimately a video about desperately trying to look younger. It's about learning how to care for the woman you're becoming and already are. And I think those are two completely different things. So grab your skincare, get comfortable, and let's talk. For part one, I want to discuss the moment you realize that your face is changing. Like I said, I'm approaching 40. And that's it is kind of interesting to say out loud because when you're 20, 40 sounds like some distant place and then you'll eventually arrive at it. I thought the grown-ups are 40, like the real adults that really have life conquered and know what they're doing. They're in their 40s. The parents are in their 40s, right? That was my mindset. And then suddenly, whoops, you're almost there too, maybe. I don't feel that old. I mean, I feel tired enough at times to be old, but I don't feel like, I don't know, whatever it was I expected. I can look at my face and recognize, though, that I'm not looking at the exact same face or skin that I had at 20. And that's okay. I have lived during those 20 years that have passed since I was 20. I've raised children. I have 7 of them, 3 of which I grew inside my own body, right? I've gone through stress. I've laughed. I've cried. I've stayed up too late. And I've had seasons when I've taken really good care of myself and seasons where I've probably put myself last. I've gone through health struggles. I have multiple sclerosis. It is no joke, my friends. If you know, you know, right? It's rough. I've experienced joy and exhaustion and growth. And my face, it's been there for all of it. Every single day I've had it attached to my body. I promise, no joke. Right? It's something I think we forget when we talk about aging, that our body's been through all of it, especially our face has been right at the front row. We talk about wrinkles as though there's some kind of failure, We talk about aging like it's something women are supposed to defeat, and men don't even. Mm-mm. Losing hair? What? What? Erase that. Reverse it. Turn back time. And I'm not against wanting beautiful skin. Obviously, I'm sitting here making an entire skincare series. I like skincare and I like makeup and I like feeling pretty. I like looking in the mirror and feeling good about the woman looking back at me. But I don't want the pursuit of beauty to require me to hate the evidence that I've lived. That's where I think we can change the conversation. I don't want to fight the woman that I'm becoming. I want to learn how to care for her. And that's what today's episode is really about. So for part two, your skin, it really does change. Let's get into a little bit of science because I am a nutritionist and a health coach. One of the things I really want to bring to this skincare series is the connection between beauty and health. Your skin isn't just something you put makeup on. Your skin is an organ. And like every other part of your body, it changes throughout your life. As we age, skin can gradually become thinner. It can become drier, and we can lose some of the fullness that we associate with younger skin. Collagen changes, elasticity changes, oil production can change, and our ability to hold moisture can change. And then there are decades of accumulated environmental exposures, especially sun exposure. So if you suddenly realize my skin doesn't behave like it did 10 years ago, you're probably right. It doesn't. And that's important because sometimes we keep trying to solve today's skin problems with yesterday's routine. Imagine wearing the exact same clothes at 40 that fit you at 14 or even at 24. Some might still fit. Some might even still look good. But you wouldn't assume your body was the problem because every single thing didn't fit exactly the same. Your body changed. Your life changed. Your needs changed. Skin can be like that too. It really is. So for part three, let's talk about collagen. You've probably heard the word collagen approximately 10 billion times if you've watched skincare content. But what actually is it? Collagen is one of the major structural proteins in our bodies, including our skin. Think of it as part of the scaffolding that helps give skin strength and structure. When we're younger, we generally have more of that youthful support and resilience. And over time, those structures change. Then can that can contribute, I guess, to some of the things that we associate with aging. Think about it, like fine lines, wrinkles, changes in firmness and texture, changes in how full or plump the skin appears. But here's where I want to be careful because skincare marketing can sometimes make it sound like there's a magic bottle that simply just will put your 22-year-old face back on. Like, wouldn't that be? No, that's not realistic. And I don't think we need to promise that anyway. Good skincare isn't a time machine. It's care. We're supporting hydration. We're supporting the skin barrier. We're protecting our skin from unnecessary environmental damage. We're choosing products that make our skin look and feel healthier. We're being consistent. That's a much healthier expectation. So let's see, for part four, let's talk about hormones because they can change your skin too. This is particularly important for women, but it affects men too. Hormones for men and women are impacted over time with age. Our skin doesn't exist separately from the rest of our biology. Hormonal changes throughout adulthood, and especially around perimenopause and menopause, can affect skin. Changes in estrogen are associated with changes in collagen, elasticity, thickness, and moisture. So women can enter this stage of life and suddenly say, why am I so dry? Why does my face look different? Why does my skin feel thinner? Why am I suddenly noticing lines? And sometimes we internalize that. We think I did something wrong. I didn't take care of myself enough, or I'm just, oh, I'm aging badly. No, sometimes you're simply seeing biology. That doesn't mean there's nothing you can do. It means understanding why something is happening helps you respond intelligently instead of panicking. And that's one of the biggest things I want women to take from this video. Don't panic about your changing face. Learn it. Pay attention to it. Pay attention. Understand what it's asking for. For part 5, I want to discuss the skin barrier and that it matters more than people realize. It's another term you hear constantly now. Skin barrier. Basically, it's the outermost part of your skin. It helps keep needed moisture in and unwanted irritants out. And when that barrier isn't functioning well, your skin may feel dry or tight, sensitive, flaky, irritated, or uncomfortable. Sometimes we see those symptoms and we think, I need more, more exfoliation, more actives, more scrubbing, more treatments, more products. And sometimes the skin actually needs less aggression and more support, gentle cleansing, moisture, protection, consistency. I mean, that's not very exciting marketing, but sometimes the boring things are the things that actually matter. So for part 6, let's discuss that more products aren't always better. This is where skincare can become overwhelming. You get on social media and someone tells you that you need a 12-step routine, and then somebody else says 3. Wait, someone tells you that this ingredient is absolutely essential. Someone else says never use it, and then there's a serum and then an essence and an oil and a mask and an eye treatment and an exfoliant and stuff you've never heard of. And eventually you're standing in your bathroom thinking, what am I actually supposed to put on my face? And what do I have to rinse off? Like, I don't remember. No, we don't want that. We need to simplify this. You don't win skincare because you own the most bottles. The goal is to understand your skin well enough to give it what it needs. And that can change with age. It can change with seasons. It can change with climate. It can change with hormones. It can change depending on what's happening personally, individually in your life. Okay. So let's move on to part 7 and discuss that stress does show up on our skin. It's something that gets overlooked, so we're going to talk about it. Stress. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a health coach. I am trying to get this YouTube channel up and going, running a business and creating these videos, and I'm writing books and publishing and man, it's a lot and I love it and I'm glad and I'm grateful for the opportunities. And I know many of you watching this are doing the same things right now. Maybe you're raising kids. Maybe you're caring for aging parents. Mine live in Arkansas right now. So they're about 5 hours from me. And then I've got my in-laws that are also a couple hours away and they're all still self-maintaining, but they're getting older and there's concerns. And maybe you're working. Like maybe parents aren't your concern. Maybe kids aren't your concern. Maybe pets aren't your concern. But maybe you're working and maybe you're dealing with finances and bills and health problems. Maybe you're going through major transition or divorce or local tragedy. There's so many things going on right now with forest fires and flooding. And I'm not even going to go into that. It's a whole different thing. But there's there's just so many things. And sometimes we're doing all of those things at once, simultaneously. And when life gets so overwhelming, what gets pushed to the bottom of the list? Us, you and me. Sleep gets shorter. Meals become whatever's easiest and quickest, and drinking water gets forgotten. And our skincare, I mean, it is a few steps. I'll do it tomorrow, right? We put it off. Stress itself interacts with our physiology. So when I'm talking about healthy skin, I'm not going to pretend that the answer exists exclusively inside of a jar. It doesn't. Your body is connected. It's all important. What goes on the outside as well as the inside, as well as just life and the stress of it and helping your body process it and deal with it. So, part 8, I want to discuss that beautiful skin is an inside job also. This is the health coach in me coming out. If we're talking about skin, we have to talk about nutrition. Your skin needs nutrients, my friend. Your skin needs it. Your body needs protein. It needs essential fats. It needs vitamins and minerals. It needs hydration. And I don't believe that means chasing some magical beauty food. It means supporting the whole body. Eat real food. Eat vegetables and fruit. Get enough protein. Include healthy fats and drink water. And don't underestimate sleep. If you don't know how to eat healthy or be healthy, you will find dozens of videos on my channel. Only a few are about skincare. Most of the videos are about health. So check them out if you need help in that area, or just check them out. All right. Anyways, there is no skincare routine that is going to outperform a terrible diet or inadequate, chronic, bad sleep. It won't. But that doesn't mean you have to live perfectly. I certainly don't. It means we stop separating beauty from health as though they're completely unrelated worlds. The face you're caring for is attached to a whole person. Care for that whole person. Part 9, I'm going to run out of fingers. But for part 9, I want to discuss sun protection, and that it isn't just for 20-year-olds. We have to talk about it. Ultraviolet exposure contributes to premature skin aging, and the effects accumulate. It's one of those areas where I think younger women have an incredible opportunity, because if you're 25 watching this, don't wait until you're 45 to start thinking about protecting your skin. But if you're 45 or 55 or 65, don't think it's too late either. Protecting your skin today still matters. We're not trying to undo every sunny afternoon you've enjoyed ever. No, we're making better decisions moving forward. That's really the theme of the entire episode, not regret, but stewardship. What do I have today and how do I care for it today? So for part 10, let's talk about why you know, your old routine, it just might not feel right anymore. So let's put everything together. Maybe the cleanser you loved years ago now leaves your face tight. Maybe you used to barely need moisturizer and now your skin just drinks it up. Maybe your under eye suddenly needs more attention, and maybe you notice texture changing and you're concerned about firmness, or pigmentation is becoming more noticeable. Maybe you don't even know what changed. You just know something did. This is when I think we need to stop asking, what's the best skincare product? And start asking, what does my skin need right now, today? Because there isn't one perfect routine for every woman. There just isn't. And that actually leads into something Jafra is doing that I think is super interesting. It's really cool. So for part 11, let's talk about Jafra's it's it's like a skin consult tool. Jafra has tools that are designed to help you figure out what products, this is free, you should know. It's free. You don't have to buy anything to use this. But they have designed these tools to help you figure out what products might make sense for your skin instead of simply just wandering through the website guessing. When you go on the website, click on my mom's link in the description below. It will take you to her site and then find the virtual skin consult. It uses a questionnaire to help recommend a skincare routine. And super cool, Jafra now has an AI-powered skincare consult designed to analyze your needs and give personalized product recommendations. I actually think that's just so cool and it fits perfectly with what we're talking about today because skincare shouldn't just be Rebecca uses this, therefore you need this. No, 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 my friend. My skin is not your skin. My age isn't your age unless your birthday's in April and you're 39. And if that's so, this might be right for you. Or your 39 and a half-year-old skin could be different than mine, and something else may be the better option for you. Okay, keep that in mind. My environment isn't your environment. My concerns may not be your concerns. I can show you what I love and I can teach you what I've learned and I can show you Jafra products that I use. But ultimately, I want you to become better at understanding your own skin. And if you're interested in trying the Jafra Skin consultation tools, like I said, I will have my mom's Jafra consultant link in the description. Her name is Patricia Bergstrom. She's been with Jafra for about 50 years. So if you decide you want to explore Jafra, please go through her link in the description so that she is attached as your consultant while you shop. And you can still explore and make your own decisions online. You're not going to be pressured into anything. You can use the tools, look at the recommendations, read about the products, and decide what makes sense for you. And I actually love that because that's how I want this entire series to feel. Education first, choice second, products third. So for part 12, I want to discuss why Jafra has stayed in my family. It's something I keep coming back to throughout this series. Jafra isn't something I discovered because I started making skincare videos. It's almost the opposite. I'm making these videos because Jafra was already part of my life. Excuse me. My mom has been using it for 50 years. I've been around it my whole life since childhood. And my sister Angel, well, Angela, but we call her Angel, has used Jafra for years, her whole life as well. She's 10 years older than me. So when I talk about Jafra, I'm talking about something that has existed in my family across different stages of women's lives forever, for generations. Young skin, motherhood, middle age, mature, older, different concerns, different routines, different seasons. And I think that's probably part of why I have such an emotional connection to it. There are smells that just, do you have that? Like, are there any smells you have that take you back to childhood? Like a cologne or a lotion or like a baked good or like a smell from the workshop or whatever. There's objects that remind you and take you back. There are traditions families carry. You know, for me, beauty products are strangely part of that because I remember my mom and I remember seeing her skincare and I remember Jafra. And now here I am approaching 40, taking care of my own self and my own skin and talking about skincare. And there's something very full circle about that. And part of why I felt the need to spread the message about Jafra and continue it forward. But for part 13, let's talk about the woman in the mirror. This is the part I really wanted to get to today. One second. Roxy, lay down. Lay down. Shh, lay down. It's my dog. She came down. I'm hoping she'll just calm down and be quiet. All right. So, the part I wanted to get to, because I know that for some women, aging, it's genuinely difficult. You look in the mirror and you notice something you haven't noticed before, a line, a wrinkle, a little sagging, a change around your eyes, or some graying hairs. Like, honestly, this lighting is great. And I even used some dry shampoo spray to cover my roots today because I was nervous to go on camera without, because I saw like, oh, I get it. I get it. There's this strange moment when you're looking in the mirror and the person in the mirror just doesn't completely match the age you feel inside. I understand that. But I want to challenge you. And I want to challenge the way we talk to that woman. Because if your best friend walked into your house and said, I'm getting older, look at this line. Oh, it's so ugly. I can't stand it. Would you look at her and say, yep, too bad for you, friend. You suck. No. Oh my gosh. Of course not. You wouldn't. You probably see everything she couldn't see. Her smile, her personality, the life in her face, the things she survived, the children she's raised, the wisdom she's gained, the person she's become. Those are the things you would see and notice. So why are we sometimes so cruel to the woman in our own mirror? Maybe skincare doesn't have to begin with, I need to fix myself. Maybe it can begin with, I am worth caring for. Those are very different motivations, my friend. I want you to be kind to yourself. Be kind to the friend in the mirror. Say something nice to yourself today. Please do it. We're only not even halfway through. Like, I'm going to keep going. I've got a lot of more things I want to cover, but I want you today to say something nice to yourself in the mirror. Just do it. You never know when a compliment could stick with somebody for the rest of their life. Even yourself, by practicing kind words and kind thoughts with yourself, you're going to build the habit so that you will say those kind of things and you will have that opportunity to remember something good. I think of when I was a teenage girl. I'm totally going on a side note tangent, but whatever. I guess you guys will be okay with it. If not, just skip ahead to the next chapter, go on to part 14. But for right now, I'm going to continue this thought of compliments and how they really can stick with you. When I was a teenage girl, I was I was a cute teenage girl. Like, I looked just fine, and I was thin, and I was healthy, and I dealt with some acne and just the normal things that teenage girls deal with, but I didn't actually feel that confident. I didn't feel great about myself. I had a great mom and my dad was great and they were good parents. And so I'm not saying that I didn't have the encouragement from them, but I just had my own self that teenagers do. And I was young enough that I wasn't dating, and so I wasn't allowed to date until I was 16. And so in this memory, I would have only been about 15. And so I wasn't at that time being complimented by boys and all of that. And I was walking down the hallway at church and feeling just kind of discouraged and wondering. And I had gotten my hair cut and I was just kind of embarrassed by it. And I had the worst acne breakout and I had gone at it like with the pimple pimping. Oh my God. It was bad. I did not, I was feeling just not good. and walking down the hall, and another girl that was in the youth group in my church. And I didn't know her well because I was somewhat new to the group. And she was walking towards me as I'm walking towards her. And I smiled at her. And Roxy, get out of here. Go, go. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. She is so spoiled. She needs her ears cleaned out every day, and we haven't done it yet. So that's why she's interrupting this video. I don't even have kids home, and she's being a pill and being a problem. That's what I mean by that. She's being a distraction. Okay, back to my story. Goodness. So she's walking towards me. I'm walking towards her, and I smiled, just being friendly. Hi, how are you? And she looks up at me, and she stops me, and she says, Becca, because that's what I went by at the time. She's like, Becca, can I tell you something? It's like, yeah, sure. What's up? She's like, you have a smile that is so beautiful. You could stop someone who's about to, what? She's like, I mean it. You could totally stop someone that's about to commit suicide because your smile is so warm and welcoming. You're just so beautiful. And then she went on down the hall and left me there. 15-year-old self, acne breakout, a haircut I hated, not feeling confident, not quite comfortable. And I new to this group of teenagers, and she said that to me. And it was just a really weird thing to say. Very specific. And I later came to find out that this girl who was my age had a brother who was like her best friend and close in age and had just recently committed suicide before I moved in to the area and I was part of the group. And so I wasn't aware that it had happened because it wasn't really talked about out of respect. And yet, in that moment that she saw me in the hall, she saw a beauty and a friendship and an encouragement. And she shared her compliment in a teenage kind of way because teenagers say the craziest things, right? My two youngest are 14. Well, birthdays just, anyways, 13 and 14. But they say some crazy things. And so the way that she presented that appreciation and that compliment and also shared something that was tragic to her all in one swoop and one breath. I bring it up because it reminds me that compliments and beauty are interchanged and they're important. And you don't have to be beautiful to give or receive a compliment. I didn't necessarily look super great that day. I mean, I was fine. I was a typical teenager dealing with typical teenage beauty and flaw issues, right? But what caught her attention was my smile and my expression of friendship and warmth. And I want us all to remember, regardless of our age, regardless of our skin care or skin condition, our ability to buy all the best products or not be able to do anything but drink enough water, or maybe just enough water isn't even available to you, but you're still lucky enough to be able to watch this video. Crazy things happen in our world. Do the best you can, but remember, you can always embrace beauty with a smile and with kindness and with friendship, and that there is beauty within that expression itself, regardless of what's happening specifically with your skin. It brings me to part 14. to Esther. I always have to bring it back to Esther. If you've watched the other videos in the series, you know I love the story of Esther. Look, I'll even show you guys. I've showed them before, but I'll show it again. I have the myrtle tree tattooed to my arm, which represents the story of Hadassah. Her Hebrew name was Hadassah, and Hadassah means myrtle. So I do have the tattoo because it means so much to me personally. And one of the details in Esther's story that has always fascinated me is the period of preparation before she went to the king. There was intentional care, there was preparation, there were beauty treatments, and ultimately, Esther's value was certainly not simply that she was beautiful. Her story becomes one of courage, faith, wisdom, timing, purpose. She eventually had to walk into a situation that required extraordinary courage. And that's why I love thinking about preparation differently. Caring for yourself doesn't have to mean worshiping appearance. No, beauty doesn't have to mean vanity. Just like my friend and her gratitude for a smile and her connection of that smile to beauty, there's a difference between obsessing over ourselves and stewarding ourselves. Remembering to smile on the days we feel confident and the days you don't. Your body carries you through your calling. Your hands serve people, your arms hold, your eyes see people, your mouth speaks encouragement, your face communicates love. And yes, I believe it's okay to care for all of it. So for part 15, I want to talk about the parable of the talents. There's another biblical idea that's come to my mind. The servants in this biblical parable were entrusted with something. A talent was considered a form of money. And the question was, what did you do with what you were given? And I think stewardship reaches into more areas of our lives than we sometimes realize. Your health is something you're living inside. Your abilities are something you've been given. Your time matters. Your relationships matter. Your body matters. And I think caring for ourselves can be part of saying, thank you for what I've been given. I'm going to take care of it, not worship it, not obsess over it, not compare it endlessly with everyone else's, but care for it. And there's freedom in that. For part 16, let's discuss that aging isn't the opposite of beauty. I really want women especially to hear this. Men sometimes can age with a little more confidence, sometimes not. So male or female, I want you to hear me. Aging and beauty are not opposites. Our culture sometimes treats them like they are. Young equals beautiful, old equals something we have to hide. I reject that. There are incredibly beautiful women at 20. There are incredibly beautiful women at 40. There are incredibly beautiful women at 60. There are incredible, beautiful women at 80. The same goes for men. They're not just identical kinds of beauty. They're all different. And I mean, why would they be? You're not supposed to be frozen in one chapter of your life forever. I don't want to look like my 18-year-old self. She hadn't lived life yet. She was a baby and didn't even know it. She hadn't learned what I know. She hadn't raised my children. She hadn't walked through what I've walked through, completing 3 pregnancies and also helping raise 4 other children, so 7 in total? No, my 18-year-old self had definitely not done that. She hadn't become me yet. So yes, I'll moisturize. I'll use my serums. I'll use my eye treatments. I'll use sunscreen. I'll put on makeup. I'll fix my hair. I'll do the things that make me feel beautiful. But I refuse to believe that the goal is to erase every piece of evidence that I've been alive. So for part 17, what I would do if my skincare stopped working. Let's make this really practical. If you're watching this because your skincare genuinely feels like it stopped working, here's where I would start. First, I want you to stop assuming you need more products. Look at what changed. Is your skin drier, more sensitive, more oily? Are you noticing pigmentation like colored spots and such? Texture, fine lines, loss of firmness, breakouts. What are you experiencing? And then ask, when did this change? Did the weather change? Did you start a new product? Has your stress changed? Has your sleep changed? Has your diet changed? Are you are you possibly entering a hormonal transition, perimenopause, menopause, period time? Did you start over exfoliating because someone online told you to? Start paying attention and then go back to your foundation. By that, I mean gentle cleansing, hydration, moisturizing, sun protection, and then thoughtfully add treatments based on your concerns. Not because somebody has a beautiful bottle on TikTok, but because it serves a purpose in your routine. So for part 18, I want to discuss not changing everything at once. I know it's so hard to not. It's another important tip though. If you're trying 5 new skincare products simultaneously and suddenly your face looks amazing, which product worked? You don't know. And if your face becomes irritated, which product caused it? You don't know. So when possible, be thoughtful about introducing new things. Give your skin time, pay attention. Consistency matters. Some skincare results aren't immediate, so a moisturizer may make your skin feel better relatively quick. Other changes take weeks and sometimes months. That's another reason I'm not interested in making ridiculous promises in this series. I want us to build routines we can actually maintain. So for part 19, let's discuss your routine and how it can grow with you. Maybe that's the biggest lesson. Your skincare routine isn't a marriage contract with the products you used at 25. You can change. Your routine can change. At one point, you might prioritize breakouts, right? Like I've said, I dealt with acne and breakouts into my 20s. But then later, you might care more about hydration. Later, it might be pigmentation, then firmness, then sensitivity, then dryness. That's normal. The goal isn't finding one routine and never changing it. The goal is learning enough about your skin that you recognize when it needs something different. That's why tools like JAFRA skin consultation are interesting to me. Not because technology magically knows everything about you, it doesn't. And JAFRA itself says its virtual skin consult isn't a substitute for medical diagnosis or professional like dermatological care. But as a shopping tool, it can help narrow down the overwhelming number of choices. And I think that's super useful. So for part 20, let's discuss when skincare isn't the answer. I want to make an important distinction here because of my health background. Not every skin problem is cosmetic. If you have a mole that's changing, like I have a mole on my face, like here, right? I've had it since I was a girl though. It's really pretty consistent. It doesn't change. But if you have moles that are suddenly changing, or a lesion that won't heal, or a persistent rash, significant unexplained changes, pain, bleeding, or something about your skin genuinely concerns you, don't just keep buying skincare. See an appropriate healthcare professional or dermatologist, a skin doctor. Skincare is wonderful, but skincare products aren't medical diagnosis or replacement. And I think being responsible about that actually makes beauty education much more trustworthy. So let's be realistic. If you have a true concern, I'm a health coach, I'm a nutritionist. I know these products well from growing up with them, but I'm not a dermatologist. So go where help is if it's needed. All right, let's move on to part 21, what I want to teach my daughters. I think about this differently now because I do have daughters. I have 3, 2 biological and then 1 adopted. And they are, well, the youngest will be 14 in less than a month, and then 16, and then 19. And I think about this differently, like I said, because of them. What do I want them to believe about beauty? Do I want them standing in front of the mirror at 39, terrified because they found their first real wrinkle? No, of course not. I want them to care for themselves. I want them to protect their skin. I want them to eat well. I want them to sleep. I want them to take care of their bodies. My kids kind of tease me because I'm always trying to hand out and distribute supplements or smoothies or like, what do you need? What will you take? What can we get you? But we don't just do it like crazy people. We do blood work, we do tests, we make sure we're getting what we need. So do that if you can. But I want them to know how to take care of themselves and protect their skin, like I said, to eat well and to sleep well and to take care of their bodies. I want them to have fun with makeup if they enjoy it. I want them to enjoy skincare. I want the girls to feel feminine if that's meaningful to them. And I want my boys to also feel good about their skin because they use skincare regimens as well. I want them all to feel beautiful, but I never want them believing that their value decreases every year after 25. Imagine how tragic that would be. Some of the most important years of our lives happen after 30, after 40, after 50, after 60. Why would God give us decades of life and then expect us to spend them mourning the face we had at 22? I don't believe that's the point. So for part 22, my mom changed the way that I see this. And maybe there's another reason my mom's story matters so much to me. She has used JAFRA for like half a century, 50 years. Think about that. Not 1 year, not because something was trending, not because an influencer told her to, but decades. And now she's in her 70s. When I look at my mom, I don't think, I wish she looked 25. No, of course not. She's my mom. Her face belongs to the woman who raised me. The years belong there. And at the same time, she has consistently cared for herself. Those ideas can coexist. You can accept aging and care deeply about your skin. You can love yourself and use NI treatment. You can embrace wrinkles and use a serum that helps their appearance. You can know your worth has absolutely nothing to do with beauty and still enjoy feeling beautiful. My mom was a great example of this. She has sacrificed and given and cared for more, yeah, just more everything to more people, more time, more places, more. I mean, she has just given so much, but she still cares for her skin. We don't have to choose one extreme. So for part 23, let's talk about your next chapter of skincare. If you're somewhere around my age, 40 or older, and you've been thinking, my skincare doesn't work anymore, I want you to change the question and instead of asking what's wrong with your skin, ask what does it need right now? Does it need more hydration? A gentler cleansing product, better sun protection. Maybe your routine needs to become simpler so you actually do it. Maybe you're ready for a targeted serum. Maybe you're noticing the eye area needs more attention. Maybe you're using products designed for concerns you don't even have anymore. Your skin changing doesn't mean you failed. It means you're in another season. Learn the season you're in and then care for it. So for part 24, let's talk about the royal journey. It's really what I want this entire JAFRA series to become. Not just reviews, not just here's a bottle, buy it. No, I want this to become something deeper. A journey through beauty, health, aging, womanhood, confidence, stewardship, and preparation. A royal journey, not because we're pretending to be queens. No, because I think sometimes, yeah, I think women need to remember the dignity of caring for themselves. Esther prepared. Then she stepped forward when her moment came. And I don't know what you're preparing for. Maybe it's nothing dramatic. Maybe you're raising a family, starting something new, going back to work, building a business, healing from something. learning who you are again. Maybe you're simply entering a new decade of your life. Whatever it is, you don't need your 25-year-old face to walk into it. You need you, the woman you've become. So if you've looked in the mirror recently and thought, when did my face change? I hope you'll remember this conversation. Yes, your skin may be changing. That's biology. That's life. That's time. But changing does not mean ruined. And aging doesn't mean you've stopped being beautiful. Learn your skin, support your health, protect it, hydrate it, nourish yourself. Choose skincare thoughtfully and care for the woman looking back at you or man because they're still becoming someone. And I think that's beautiful. If you'd like to explore JAFRA, like I said, I'll put my mom Patricia's consultant link in the description. And if you don't know what JAFRA products are right for your skin, check out their skin consultation tools rather than feeling like you have to guess. And please use my mom's consultant link when you go through JAFRA so you're connected to her and to me while you shop. And I'll also have youareworthithealth.com, the letter U, the letter R, worthithealth.com. It's my website where you can learn more about what I'm doing with health, nutrition, and wellness. And my books will be linked there too if you'd like to go deeper into some of the health topics we talk about. Please subscribe. We're not finished. We have a lot more to talk about, and I would really love to know something in the comments. What age are you? And what's the biggest change you've noticed in your skin? Dryness, fine lines, texture, sensitivity, firmness, or is it something else? Tell me, because your answers may actually help me decide what we talk about in a future episode. Until next time, take care of your health, take care of your skin, take care of the amazing person that you're becoming. Because I promise you, my friend, you are worth it.